Hey, Jims. It's Friday. Just got paid. Friday night, money in my pocket. Y'all better do it right. Let's go. Listen, we're going to talk about politics today. Our guest, Jennifer Love Spewitt, is coming on with us at 1 o'clock because he got time to be with us at 1 o'clock. And we're going to talk about gerrymandering, which is happening now in the state of Georgia. You know, they rerouting things. Hey, Tiffany James, blessings, everyone. Miss Super Sniper Marva, gorgeous Marcella, and on the ray of sunshine, Auntie NIECY, yes, and my fellowship, awesome gems. Listen, this inspiration is going to touch all of y'all, and this is a message for all of y'all, and me too. Listen, y'all know that little thing I did on Sharice was a throwback from May 2021, okay? Over a year ago. And I understand it was offending to some people because I was cussing bedbug back in the day, okay? But, you know, I had somebody come in and told me that their spirit didn't sit right with that. I apologize to you. We made sure that everybody knew that it was a replay. And, you know, this is something that related to Sharice when she was on before, and now she coming back and she hasn't changed, y'all. She's still the boring bed bug that she always was, right? So I want to share this with y'all because you know, if you haven't seen the improve in me, it's not me, it's you, okay? But this is what I got to say. When like right now, if you was to log on to my page, you're gonna see another video that says Marcella, speak with your girl, something, lie, something. And it is blocking my memberships, is blocking my subscribers. But you know what? I'm not going to even entertain that. If you want to leave that there from last year, go ahead and leave it there. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you the message I got. You can't bring up my past to break me. That's what made me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to always be me. And guess what? I'm a work in progress at all times. At all times. Now, you know somebody tapping you, but if you was to pull up Speak with Your Girl Marcella, you go all the way out and pull up Speak with Your Girl Marcella, you're going to see a video right there. And I'm supposed to go and strike that. I'm not striking that. I'm not even giving it no flavor. Let it stay there. It might do the opposite. See what happens when people dig holes for you, they always fall in it, right? So I'm not going to entertain that. But y'all see it there. I saw it when I went on my husband's page and somebody had brought it to my attention. I was like, oh, that can stay there. I'm not going to strike that. I don't be striking people. I don't strike people. I'm not going to talk negative about that content creator. Let her go ahead and leave it there, get all the clicks and views. Evidently, it's needed for the click views, super chats, and cash apps. But you're not going to bring up my past and try to break me because the past is why I can endure so many things. And y'all know if y'all have been through something and you climbed over that mountain, the biggest mountain you can climb over, when you get to the next mountain, you breeze right over there. You got good knees, okay? Y'all got good knees. And I'm going to tell you now, I like yesterday when I did my earlier post, oh, I got a copyright, not a strike, but you know, somebody was offended and you know, they gave me like a warning. Listen, God ain't letting my page go nowhere. Okay. When they told me it wasn't a strike, I was like, oh, okay. I'll be okay. So y'all trying to take me down, honey. I gotta break the rules of YouTube, not what you think. Y'all, that's why I keep telling y'all, y'all need to follow and subscribe to all the content creators you like. Remember, back in the day, my beef with you is my beef with you. Don't try to pull everybody else into it. We have to be free thinkers. We have to have our own mind. Don't judge somebody on what another person feels about that person, because what's going to happen is they gonna be friends. The two content creators gonna end up friends down the line. And guess what? You gonna be still mad, and the other person's gonna remember the things that you said. So you know what? When you feel like somebody is trying to bring up your past, you smile at that, because I be saying for real. I had to say on live, it's sad that you're still there, and I done moved on, and I done got brighter and shinier. So, you know, because of that, I don't know if people can't sign into my page, it's because of that. But guess what? I thank God for who's here, because I'm not in no contest trying to get subscribers. Y'all, guess who just came in the house? Jennifer Love Spew It. And you know what? With all due, I am ready for him to educate us and let us know what's going on with this Jerry.
That's all right. If you'd like to talk with me, just ask me a question.
I don't need you right now, ma'am. That is, but I done put up, listen, I done put up the Jennifer, you can just grab that and I'm gonna pull you up. Listen, this is what we got to know. Jennifer is going to educate us on gerrymandering, because you know what? Truthfully, I didn't hear about the word gerrymandering until last year. And then when I hear something new, I be looking it up. But y'all, please, for me, anybody did something to you, forgive them and move on. If they don't want, to be down with you, let them go. It ain't worth it, y'all. Cause I'm happy. And look, ain't no stopping us now. If y'all was on Teddy Page this morning, I requested that song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. And it's not. We about to build up. But with further ado, I like to welcome our special gem, Jennifer Love. Spew It into the Jim's house. Y'all hit this like button for him. He is awesome. This man knows. And guess what? This is what we have in common. We love the politics, honey. We love the politics. But hey, Jennifer.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Let's get right into it. Can you just tell us what gerrymandering is, and tell us the latest place you know it's happening? I know it's happening in Georgia.
Yeah, well, before we get into the gerrymandering, I think that first we need to talk about why gerrymandering is such a problem.
Okay.
Um, so, in the midterms right now, as we all know, in order to get any of the things passed that we have not been able to get passed as of yet, things like voting rights, things like codifying marriage equality into law, codifying a woman's right to choose into law. Those things we have not been able to get done, even though we do hold the House, the majority in the House, and technically we hold the majority in the Senate, because the Senate is 50-50 right now, with the vice president being the tie-breaking vote. However, we have two Democrats, Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, who are refusing to break the filibuster rule in the Senate, and that is why we cannot get that done. So, what we have to do in order to get these things done is we have to keep control of the House, and we have to expand our majority in the Senate by at least 2 Senate seats. Okay, and then we can get these things done. Now, where gerrymandering comes into place is it presents a big problem, especially in these midterms, because it makes it more difficult for us to hold the House. Gerrymandering doesn't matter in regards to the Senate, because a Senate race is statewide, but House districts are districts. And so what has happened, and it's not just one side, Democrats do it as well. However, there are a large majority of states that actually have their state governments run by Republicans. Okay. And so, what those Republicans have done in the state legislatures, even if they have a Democratic governor, even if they have a Democratic senator or two Democratic senators, their state government is still ruled by Republicans. And so, what they have done is they've done a redistricting process, which makes it difficult for especially minority voters, to have their votes mean anything.
Right.
Right now, it has happened in Georgia. In addition, in Georgia, the Republican state legislature has passed laws which are really trying to say that no matter what the vote of the people is, that they can overturn those results. And that is extremely dangerous because that means that anyone's vote doesn't count.
Right.
It is at the hands of the state government, and that is against everything that this country is about. Um, it is also happening. It's also happened in Alabama, and so right now there is actually a case at the Supreme Court because of redistricting in Alabama. And
Yes.
what the Supreme Court case is about is that redistricting in Alabama has basically made it so that Black voters' vote only counts really in one district. Okay, they have 7 House districts in Alabama, but they have they've gerrymandered the districts so bad that there's only one district that actually represents Black voters, even though the population of Alabama is 27% of the state of Black voters. Okay. So basically, what this Supreme Court argument is, that's being brought up is that really only gives Black voters 14% of a voice, which means that that's not equal representation. And as we know, there, according to our Constitution, there should be no taxation without representation. So if you are not being represented, then and you don't actually have the opportunity to be represented by who you want because of gerrymandering,
Right.
then that's where the problem comes in.
And
Now,
let me just quickly tell them what gerrymandering means. It means to manipulate the boundaries of an electoral constituency so as to favor one party or class to achieve a result by manipulating the boundaries of an electoral constituency. So it's to change the voting district, right? And it creates the result that helps or hurt the group that's against the other group. See, they are two groups fighting against each other, Republican or Democrat. But let me tell you something. We, the people, we're in the middle. They need to be working for us. And why we should be allowed to partake in what is being done in our country. So this gerrymandering is really tough in Alabama, really tough in Georgia. Some places where the Black votes counted the most, they split it up so the Black votes don't count as much. But it's not even just the Black votes, it's for the people who said, okay, Georgia was a red state and
mhm,
it turned blue. And now they're in a panic because this is also a state that counts against the electoral college. So we need to run to the polls. I don't care. Early voting is starting right now. Whether you feel your vote count or not, this election is more important right now than the presidential election. We need to stand up for our rights because it's affecting everybody, black and white. It doesn't matter. It's what these old men out there are fighting for against each other to say, okay, Joe, I beat you. We won this. And guess what? Since Obama's been president, Trump has been president, and now Biden, we still haven't even settled really on infrastructure. These are the streets in your town. So many things are going on. Crimes are being broken. And guess what? People are not being persecuted. 45 should be under the jail right now. But if it was Obama, even though he's an American citizen born in America, they would have sent him back to Africa because they say his birth certificate was not real. Just the good old boys. But we need to be the good old people that said we're standing up and we're tired of this. We need to vote. Okay.
The other place that it's happened really badly is in Texas. And in Texas, what they've done is diluted the Hispanic vote.
Yeah.
They've redistricted their House districts so that it basically makes it so that the white vote will so disproportionately outweigh the Hispanic vote, even though almost 50% or around 50% of the population of Texas right now is Hispanic, and they are doing that same thing there. Now, the reason why this is kind of being allowed to happen and why it may be a problem with the Supreme Court is because the Voting Rights Act has basically been gutted. Okay. And very little of it is left.
Mm.
We, again, because of Manchin and Cinema, have not been able to get voting rights legislation passed. Now, with infrastructure, we actually did get a big infrastructure bill passed. And there is a lot of money going to states, going to communities to improve infrastructure. Is it enough? No, but we really got the largest infrastructure bill in decades past, which was great. And so that is something that we can run on. But the problem is, because of gerrymandering, like I said, it's going to make it very hard for us to keep the majority in the House this year, which means that absolutely nothing that we want done will get done. Something else that people really need to understand is how both houses work, the House of Representatives and the Senate, how they work and what they're responsible for and why we need them. Okay, so for instance, in the Senate, even though we can't get Manchin and Cinema to vote on those things that we want,
Right.
even having them as Democrats does help us because number one, Biden has been able to install a really large number of federal judges
Mhm.
across the country. I think it's the most of any president in many, many years in his first 2 years in office. Those things make a difference because we have to get those judges in. They have to be confirmed by a majority vote. Okay. If we did not have Manchin and Cinema, not only would we have not gotten these judges confirmed, but most likely the Republicans would not even have allowed them to come up for a vote because that's exactly what Republicans did to Obama. They said prior to that, they used to follow the filibuster rule and say that the judge needed 60 votes. However, basically what McConnell did was said, okay, look, I'm not going to let you even. I'm not even going to bring these judges up for a nomination because we don't want you to be able to confirm any judges that you would like onto the federal bench, which is which is awful. Because despite the fact that we are always told, oh, judges, the judicial system is nonpartisan, blah blah blah, we know that that's not true, and we do have right wing judges. Look at the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That's how Roe has just been overturned. The only thing that I think may be a blessing to us right now is that because of Roe being overturned, women are registering in record numbers to vote. And so I'm thinking that that may help us, but we already hold such a slim majority in the House. I
Yeah.
am very, very worried about it.
Yes, but you know what? No need to worry because you know what? Our responsibility is to go vote. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, you got men who don't know us, don't know our circumstances, telling us no abortions. We can have a baby. Now, I want to hit on something veering off the gerrymandering right quick. I want to hit on Mr. Hershey. Walk him on out of here, okay? Mr. Herschel Walker, he wants to pretend like he don't know nothing about the young lady who he gave $700 to and a card that says get well soon. That he didn't do that about the abortion. Well, after he called that person a liar, the woman a liar, she came forth to say, I have one of your kids already. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Well,
Hmm.
well, let me bring it to everybody's attention. Report woman who said Herschel Walker paid for abortion, also mother of one of his children. Now, this is the man who said he doesn't believe in abortion and he's stomping against abortion, has been caught in so many lies, but he's running for a public office endorsed by Mr. Cheeto, may I say. We need to watch every candidate that Mr. Trump has endorsed. Why? Because he's putting his soldiers right there. He's planning them in. He's smart. He's strategic. He's putting people in because he knows that those are automatic yeses. So, y'all, our thing is to lace up our shoes and go to these polls because we shouldn't have no man coming in our life and telling us if we were roped that we can't get rid of this baby. If this is a health concern, we can't get rid of this baby. Because once we allow that, like they did Roe versus Wade, guess what? Do you not think that they're going to stop at just that? It's going to be other things. We had a senator who's running for office right now who said that he don't think women should even work, but he discounted that some of us were single parents, are single parents. We need to pay attention. Listen, let me read some of these comments. It's obviously not too difficult. At least run for office. Hell, even a buffoon can win, obviously. Yes. Better Trump than Sloppy Joe. And that's your opinion. And guess what? I value your opinion. But what I will ask you to do, self-preservation, is to sit down and look back and see what has been done for you and this country as a whole, vice what did Trump do, vice Joe Biden. Look and see, did you benefit from Trump? Because I did benefit from Trump. I benefited from him with my taxes. But I can't say that for everyone because guess what? If I got to pay taxes, I got to pay. That's my part. Okay. In Texas is a bit different. I believe after seeing no one acknowledge them for the vote and how the PR was treated last hurricane, I think they've changed their minds. Listen, I'm worried about Florida. After this hurricane, uh, a lot of people lost their homes. Do you think they're going to be thinking about voting? I don't know. I'm homeless, but you want me to go to the polls? No, I don't know. Okay, good to know, Jennifer. Some of our Hispanic neighbors in California are voting Republican. You know why? Because they're scared if they don't, they will be deported. They will be looked upon. Better dump than Joe. Listen, sometimes we get the lessers of the two evils, and you got to pick which one is less evil. To me, Donald Trump was really trying to isolate and segregate people. Take a look. We have more hatred. We already had hatred, okay? You got hatred of the gay and lesbian community. You got hatred of the blacks. You got hatred of the Hispanics. And guess what? They kept it to themselves. They never outlandishly said it. But now they just coming out and just doing things. We got so many Karens and Kens. We got so much violence happening. We got to stop and love one another because if our colors might be different, we might speak a different dialect, but we are all human beings, one, and we all are Americans no matter what. So if that was the case in the United States military, and if I had to go and fight next to a white person, and that white person will let me get bombed because they don't like the color of my skin. That's not how the military run. It runs on we need to survive and take care of each other. We got bigger fish to fry like Putin with the nuclear. They talking about it could be Armageddon. We got other things to fry right here in our country. Instead of trying to help Ukraine, we need to be helping the good old United States of America, because if not, we're going to have a civil war right here. And every white person does not follow that mess of not liking black people. You have white people that don't care about color, and they just don't say it. But guess what? They think is wrong. That's why we were able to turn Georgia blue, because everybody didn't stand on that nonsense. And I'm hoping that we can go and vote for the lesser of two evils. You might think Trump is better, but I don't know preservation, was you a man or a woman, but to hear a man say that they can grab on our coochies and that's all right because he's rich, and then not to want to, I'm from New York, you don't want to rent to black people for your building when black people are educated, we have money, but it doesn't matter. Jennifer says, Marva, it's true that more Hispanics are voting Republican than before. Republicans are definitely gaining ground. But you know what's so funny about the Hispanics voting for Republican? Didn't they see what Trump did with Puerto Rico? They may not have come from Mexico, but just think about it. Didn't they see when Trump tried to send every Hispanic person out of the United States, that, sending the gangs and regular people and separating a mother from her husband and leaving her kids here in the United States? How come they didn't see all of this? You know why? Because they're so busy working and not paying attention to who would work for them instead of them working as hard. Would we rather Trump or vice president choice? Listen, I'm going to tell you now, Kamala Harris wasn't for the people. But guess what? This is who we got. This is who we work with it. And we got to keep our red bottoms on her neck. She used to lock up and convict black people worse than any white judge in the state of California. But guess what? We don't see that. We just say, we got a black woman. And no, this woman has not always been fair to people. And that's why she's not getting along with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is going to set this ablaze. If he don't run, but you know what's going to happen if Trump gets back there in the presidency? You better believe everything Joe Biden has did for people will be reversed. And I'm so glad. Jennifer, please tell us about how you felt about Joe Biden and pardoning the people who had these frivolous marijuana convictions.
Yeah, it's great. Now, what we also need to understand is that was only people who were charged federally. Okay. So, not people who had state charges. So, what he's done is he said, you know, he's encouraging governors to follow suit with state charges as well. However, we know that Republican governors and Republican state legislatures that are ruled by Republicans, they do not want that because it predominantly affects Black people. And the more Black people they incarcerate, the more they love it. Okay. And so that is an issue. Now, it's great that he's pardoning all of the, all of the federal just marijuana possession crimes. It's great that he's doing that. But I think that we need to go a step further rather than just, and pardoning is a great first step, but those records also need to be expunged.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though they are pardoned, that doesn't mean that it won't come up on a record for a job interview or a background check for housing. I mean, any of those things, it could come up. And so I think that we need to go even further and expunge their records
Yeah.
as well as pardon them. Something else that I wanted to say back whenever I was talking about Alabama is
Mm-hmm.
that the white Republicans in Alabama, their argument is that if Black people do not like their representation in Alabama, then they should move to a district that represents them. Now, let me tell you, there are people who cannot afford to move, nor
Right.
should people have to move their families, move from where they've built their lives just to move into a district that they feel represents them. Absolutely not. Because it doesn't matter whether a candidate is a Republican or a Democrat, they have a duty to work for all of their constituents, not
All.
just a few. Whenever we're talking about the Hispanic vote, it is not monolithic. So, for instance, in Florida, Cubans vote a lot more Republican than most other Hispanics. Okay. And Cubans have come, from, dictatorship and everything, from their country. And so they have a different political view. They're very scared of what they think is socialism. But
Mhm.
we whenever we're talking about healthcare for all, that's not the same socialism that for instance, Hitler did, or what was done in Cuba. We're talking democratic socialism, and there are countries who have that and who it works very well for. And I think that we need to be very vigilant. We not only need to be worrying about what's going on federally. You need to be worried the about the candidates in your district. You need to be worried about your township candidates. You need to be worried about your city council. You need to be worried about your school board elections, because right now, as we're seeing, they want to ban all of these books. Basically, what a lot of these Republicans want to do is erase Black history, because what they're saying is, oh, it'll make my child feel guilty. Where your child was not alive when that happened. So they should not feel guilty about it. What they should do is learn about it so that they do not repeat the same mistakes as the people before them.
Right.
And so every single election is important. You have to look at all of your candidates. If you're not sure if you're registered, if you're not sure where you should vote, if you're not sure if your state allows early voting, all you have to do is go to the site vote.org, and all of that information is there. You can check all of those things on that site. It is very easy. So I definitely, encourage you to go to vote.org if you have any of those questions about where to vote, if you're registered to vote, if you're not registered, how can you register? When is the deadline for registration? Because we also have some states that will allow you to register all the way up to the date of the election. Some states do not do that. Some states have early voting. Some states do not. Some have only early voting for absentee ballots. Some have early voting for everyone, and so it is very important that you know where you are supposed to vote, how you can vote, and when you can vote. I urge everyone that if you live in a state where you are eligible to early vote, that you early vote. Because that way you don't have to worry about standing in lines. They have actually, Republicans have actually done things that, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Republicans have actually done things that have made it illegal to pass out water, to pass out food to people who are standing in line for hours and hours and hours just in order to vote, because they want to discourage voting as much as possible, because
Yes.
that is the only way that they can continue to win. Anything that they can do to suppress the vote, they will do it, because they know that they are a majority, that they're a minority. So they want to keep minority rule. And I always say this to people, and people say, oh, this couldn't happen. You're being alarmist, you're being crazy. If you have not watched The Handmaid's Tale, you need to watch it, because the entire 4 years of Trump, I was watching it slowly devolve into what happened in The Handmaid's Tale. And what ended up happening was how the government was overtaken was really what happened on January 6th, except in The Handmaid's Tale, they did actually go in and unalive a whole bunch of members of Congress so that they could take over the government. And I'm telling you, January 6th was their practice run. If
Yes.
you don't think that they will try this again, then you are fooling yourself.
And you know what? And they're saying the Ku Klux Klan, the skinheads, all of them. You know what? If y'all not paying attention to right now, the Oath Keepers is laying it all out that says Trump needed us for our guns. Trump
Yeah.
is to overpower us. Y'all need to watch that. The Hands Made Tale. Please, and self preservation. You said the Biden administration has blatantly done more for other groups, Asians, illegals, alphabet community, Ukraine, and Afghanistan. Well, let me tell you something. That last sentence lets me know you don't know our government. Ukraine. I get up here and joke about us giving Ukraine money, but there is something in the Constitution that tells us that we must do this. And this is money that we can only give out to other countries. So that's already. So the Biden administration had did more for other groups. Well, let me tell you, what did Donald Trump do for even women, Asians, illegals. Remember, he was president when the Asians were getting attacked, okay? I don't know who the alphabet community is, but I know that anybody that was dark, he wanted out of here. And guess what? And that included the Mexicans. So for right now, I'm gonna tell you this preservation. Trump was for Donald Trump and his children only, not for you, not for me, not to any Republicans. He made nicknames even for the GOP that they were only Republicans, the rhinos, Republican only in name. Okay, so I don't know, what you're trying to say or do, but you know what? You have the right to vote for whoever you feel can help you. But honey, we are on fire, and Jennifer is absolutely right, y'all. Y'all local offices are very important because that's who's running your city. Your city is your state is very important, and the governors are very important. But guess what? We're voting right now for the Senate. That means whoever we put in the White House, he's going to need support. And that support is going to have to come from whoever we sit in those Senate chairs. My thing is, I don't care if you are old Democrat or old Republican, we need to get them out of there and get some youth in there because guess what? They are trying to put us back in slavery and y'all not paying attention though. He put the rich white first. Let me tell you what he told us. And I'm black. Since you're rich, you ain't got to pay taxes. But what they did was went and attacked poor people, made them poorer. Middle class made them poorer. But the rich people was celebrating. Remember the loans that they took for Bank of America to give bonuses? Well, the lower employees didn't get those bonuses. You see how they sent the Mexicans out of here? What black person gonna go to California and pick some lettuce for salads and tomatoes out there in those fields? No black person would do that, but you know what? He sent out. Y'all don't see that they're trying to put us in famine, all these warehouses burning down where they store our food. But guess what? The people that's going to stick together, we're going to eat. We'll eat scraps.
And can I
President
just can I
Angela
just
Stanton was a criminal that, she done learn how to do a new scam by getting to people. I would
yeah.
never trust anything Angela Stanton did. You got to know about this woman and what she did. Angela Stanton harmed a lot of people in their finances. So when you use her as an example, you might as well have put Pinocchio up there, okay? Speak, Jennifer. Go ahead, speak.
What I wanted to say is to say that Biden hasn't done anything for Black people. That's not true. Okay. And we also have to remember the president doesn't make laws. Okay. The president is basically a figurehead, a political figure who is the commander in chief of the military. He does not make laws. Okay. So there's only so much that a president can do. However, like we were just talking about, he is federally pardoning, okay, people with simple marijuana possessions, which disproportionately affect Black and brown people. Okay, he has, done his student loan forgiveness plan, which affects not only Black and brown people, but poorer white people who had to take out all of this money just to go to college. My best friend has $60,000 in student loans. You know what I mean? He makes $50,000 a year. Do you know how long it will take to pay those off? So just having, and he had Pell Grants too, which means that he gets $20,000 forgiven. He still has $40,000 to pay. So people are saying, oh, you're just letting them off the hook. You're just letting it free. No, you're not. College, you cannot go to a 4-year college for $20,000 or $10,000. It just does not happen.
That's a semester.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Even a trade school is more than $10,000 at this
Right.
point. Heck, beauty school is more than $10,000. So, I mean, I think to say that he hasn't done anything is not true. Um, what I can say is that Donald Trump did absolutely nothing for the Black community. The only thing that he did was put money into HBCUs, and that was because he just wanted to have something look good. It's not like he actually cares about HBCUs.
Well, let me tell you what President Trump did, because I'm gonna call him president because he was the president. He said, "I'm gonna give you a stimmy. I need you to give me your vote." And but before all of that, we were struggling. We were struggling. He
And
just he threw
let,
money at us because he said that's what the black people are fall for, the money.
well, and let me also say this, okay? So, for instance, with PPP loans, okay, what happened is what the House of Representatives, which was controlled by Democrats, what they said is, hey, we want an oversight process so that we can make sure that this is going to the people that need the money, okay? The Trump administration refused to do that. They would not give them that information. So Steve Mnuchin, who was the Treasury Secretary at that time, what did they do? They gave all of this money to their rich friends. Why did Kanye get a $1.3 million PPP? Why did Trump's family businesses get PPP loans while they were working in the White House?
Cushion.
Why it was all about giving these wealthy white people money, but small business owners, specifically Black and brown small business owners, did not get the money that they should have gotten because all of these ultra wealthy people got these PPP loans and got them forgiven.
I
But
got
then
one.
they want to cry about student loan forgiveness that's 10 or $20,000 when they got millions of dollars in PPP loans.
I got one. It was forgiven, but guess what? Little girl down the road had got a PPP loan. She's sitting in jail right now.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm just telling you, I own a business and been owning it, but guess what? They're going after people for the PPP. Do you see any rich people being charged about the PPP loans? No, you
Nope.
don't. You see all lower income and middle class being charged. And like self-preservation, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to open your mind to see if you would be willing to take that challenge and compare. I'm never going to tell you to vote Democrat or Republican. And I want you to know that me and Jennifer are not over here crashing anybody because of their color, because I am a black woman and Jennifer is a white man. So I think it's very great that he's here to share his knowledge. Like I said, I'm not going to put you down because you like Angela Stanton, but what you gave me your opinion on Miss Angela Stanton, and I gave you mine. I'm going to tell you, I got 12 brothers, and my brothers used to go to jail and master how to scam people when they got out, and they got good till they got caught again, okay? But guess what? I made sure that I lived the right life. College graduates said that, listen, my daughter is in debt for $250,000 for college,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Kanye West is mentally unstable, which he is, but guess what? He was willing to run for president and Trump was going to endorse him, okay? Which is crazy. Damn, college graduate, is she a doctor or a lawyer? Look, she is an attorney in North Carolina. But y'all, let me tell you, y'all, we got to realize we got to stop being simple minded about saying, white people don't like us and black people don't like white people. We got black people who don't like black people. We need to think about what is in the best interest. Think about when you're at the polls. What is the best interest for my children and my children's children that I need to make this move? And that's why I've been telling you for months now, research your candidates. Don't look at what they did last year, 4 years ago. Look 10 years down the line. Did your candidate go to jail? Did your candidate, was he allegedly accused of doing something that was not understanding? Look, self-preservation. Love you, Marcella, as well. Thanks for speaking on these issues. I want to educate. And if you ever want to come up here, I want you to come up here because guess what? We got to get a clear consensus on about the voting. I used to vote years ago just to say I got to vote, let me go in there. And guess what? I would pick Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. And then they said, well, you're an independent. But you know what? Now I'm doing my research on people. And I'm gonna tell you something. I live a different life than what I lived before, and I know now my vote count for my granddaughter, my children, for my white neighbor. I got a white neighbor. Do you know her and her husband don't even speak on who they voted for because it caused a giant fight because she voted for Obama and he didn't. And do you know that it caused a big fight? But you know, as he was gonna leave out that door, he realized my wife is the one with the money. I better stay here. You know, he didn't go nowhere because you know what? She didn't force it down his throat. They had two different beliefs, and that's why it's always safe not to tell nobody who you're voting for because you know, we gotta pick out the pros and cons in each person. And like I said, Hillary running and Donald Trump running, they were evil. Hillary done did some stuff. United States of America have did things to other countries. We have not always been over here sitting pretty.
Yep,
So,
absolutely. Can I say something about Ukraine too? Um,
yes,
Part of the reason, number one, just because it's the right thing to do, is to give Ukraine money. It's also a national security issue, okay? Because if Russia invades Ukraine and takes over Ukraine, they're going to keep advancing into Eastern Europe.
right.
Okay. And that becomes a problem for national security for us as well. So it's very nuanced, and there are a lot of reasons why some things have to be done. And I do get that. But if we want to talk about giving Afghanistan money, I mean, Jared Kushner got $2 billion from the Saudi government to bail himself out of his real estate project, 666 Park Avenue in New York.
Right.
Now, number one, the address is 666. Okay, that should tell you
The
something
sign
evil
of
is
the
afoot
devil.
right there. So that should tell you everything. Ivanka, even though Trump was constantly talking about, he didn't like China, and China was doing this and doing that, Ivanka got over a dozen patents from China for her products while she was working in the White House. And can we say that maybe Hunter Biden has done some shady stuff? Absolutely, we can say that. However, Hunter Biden never served in the White House like Jared and
Let
Ivanka
me
did.
say something.
Yes. And so I mean, I'm not saying anything either one is more right than the other,
Right.
but I'm just saying, if you're working in the government and you're being paid by taxpayers, you should not be doing it to get patents from other countries. Or we don't know, we have no idea what information Jared Kushner gave the Saudis to get that $2 billion. We don't know.
Yes,
we
we
don't
do.
know we don't know what information that Trump had in Mar-a-Lago. We don't know what he already gave to Putin.
Right.
We don't know if he made copies of that and still has it. We don't know that.
I want to keep y'all aware of something. Do you know that Americans used to be stationed in Ukraine? Something was going on when they started moving Americans out of there. I'm talking about people who knew about structure and everything was in Ukraine. Trump moved everybody, closed up those offices, and next thing you know, they started being attacked. I'm going to tell you now that I believe that Putin is sick right now. He's very sick. And because he's sick, he's really lost the war. He's the laughing stock. He's lost the
Yeah.
war. He's lost the war. And now for him to go into the jail and get people to fight the Russian to fight Ukraine. Do you know a lot of those people when they got over in Ukraine, they put down the weapons. They
Yep.
gave all the weapons to Ukraine. Now because they done gave the tanks and everything to Ukraine because they did not want to fight. Right?
Well, and also, Putin's approval in Russia is dropping very, very, very fast. Now that there's a mandatory draft for men that are age eligible, they are fleeing Russia. They are leaving Russia on planes, in cars. They do not want to fight Ukraine. They do
Right.
not want to do that. And you have to realize also, women have very few rights in Russia. Um, you know, LGBTQ people can be unalived just for
Right.
being, and so all of those things have to be considered. And every one of us, if we belong to a marginalized group, whether you are Black, whether you're LGBTQ, whether you are a woman in this country, whether you are an immigrant, whether you, I mean, most of us, if we're not a straight white man, is marginalized in some way in this country, and so all of us really need to come together to say enough is enough.
Yes. And that is the message. Enough is enough, y'all. We have to stand up for ourselves now because guess what? Y'all got to stand back, size up the situation. They're trying to bring old slavery back here and put the women's behind the men. Now I know that we came from the rib of a man, but we shouldn't be standing behind because we are educated too. We can run things, and guess what? We need men as much as they need us. But guess what? Look at the people that they are shutting down. They're shutting down the blacks, they're shutting down the gays, they're shutting down the Mexicans, they're shutting down the Nigerians, the Africans, and all that kind of stuff.
And the women.
Yeah, and women. So what not make America great again? I see them making America white again, but see, I'm gonna let you know something right now. American can't run without the other races. They can't. Just because someone is gay and what they do in their bedroom doesn't mean that they're brainless. See, we
And I
gotta.
mean, we're actually, us gays are pretty smart, and we do contribute a lot to the economy. You know what I mean? And so it's just, I just feel like if we all came together and stopped, and I mean, every community has their issues. Do we have racist gay people? Absolutely. Do we
Mhm.
have homophobic Black and brown people? Absolutely. Do we have homophobic women? Absolutely. Do we have misogynistic gay men? Absolutely. All of these things, we need to get our crap together
Yes.
and all stand together is what we need to do.
Hmm. And that's what he's saying is absolutely right because, like I told you, on these YouTube pages, it's all right to, have some fun. But when you strictly try to upheld somebody else from being a content creator, that's a source of what is happening in our country. People see you want to do right and they want to upheld you from this. They want to keep me from telling y'all about political matters and money matters. Y'all know I ain't messing with nobody, but guess what? I saw on my YouTube page where somebody is blocking me from getting more subscribers. But you know what I always told y'all? If I only had one subscriber and that one person could go out and share my stuff, what I'm talking about that will help every American, that's what we got to do. Because I'm not going to go back and forth with nobody. Like my message for that person who I know you're in the bushes, my past has made me who I am today. I'm strong as ever. And the way I used to act, y'all would have never known that I'm an intelligent Black woman, that I stand with anybody, no matter what you do in your bedroom, no matter what you do in your life, rich, poor, or indifferent. I stand with you if I feel it's right, and it frees you, it freezes me. FRE. I'm FREE, free. If what you do in your life free you, I'm free to support and do whatever I do. So I'm asking y'all to please share this post because this will not be the only political time that we talk. I'm going to be talking about politics all the way up to it is time to go in the booth and have our private time. And then you decide who you want to be around because I don't hate anybody because of who they choose to vote for. That is your own personal thing, like if you wear deodorant or not. No.
Well, please do. Because we don't want you stinking. Okay, please do.
Y'all, are there any questions for Jennifer? Because you know what? If we lucky, Jennifer is going to come back. But if y'all got any questions or y'all want to come up, I'm going to drop the link. But I'm going to tell you right now, be respectful. Be respectful of our guests in our house, you
And
know?
something else I just wanted to say as far as YouTube goes. Look, A lot of us, me included, have done things on YouTube and we've had to apologize for them because we did something that was messed up. That doesn't um mean that we aren't good people, or look, everybody likes a little mess sometimes, but right now we really have to be focused on what is happening in this country. Are we going to still be free, or are we not? And whenever you were talking about, how they really want to take it back to slavery, actually, they've already done that, because what they've done is modern day slavery is they've made it a point to incarcerate black men, young black men. And so that becomes an issue as well. That is part of the reason why. And then they built these for-profit prisons. Nobody wants that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, Republicans want that because then they can just put more people in jail. America incarcerates more people than any other country. We have to
Yes.
look at that. Obama started working to get rid of prisons for profit, and then the Republicans stopped it whenever Trump got into office. Those are things that we also have to think about too. Everything matters.
hmm I feel like the war on black families really started in the Nixon administration. Whenever they started associating heroin with black people, and they started associating marijuana with the more of the hippie crowd. And it went from there. Then Nancy Reagan big thing was the war on drugs, and that incarcerated a lot of um,
Hmm.
black and brown people.
Excuse me.
Then,
Excuse me. Just
then
give me a second. My daughter, they called me from school to say she's sick, but I'm gonna go to the door for her. Okay, I'll be right back.
all
Okay.
right,
Yeah, and I think that you're absolutely right. And even look in, if you look at the Reagan era, what happened? The government flooded black communities with crack. That's what
yeah,
happened. Just like
that's
the
what happened.
government flooded poor white communities with opioids now. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
government does this for a reason. And so, what they wanted to do is in the 80s, that made it easier for them to incarcerate Black people. Now, what have they done? They've used this issue of, oh, Democrats are anti gun. I'm a Democrat. I am not anti gun. Okay, I grew up with guns in my house. My family has guns. My family hunts, all of those things. But my family don't need an AR-15 to kill a damn deer.
Right.
And so now what they've done is flooded guns through the country, and especially into poorer Black communities again, so that Black people will kill each other. That's what the government has done.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna leave Joe Biden and Bill Clinton out of this,
Absolutely
because
not.
they absolutely was the cause of this increased incarceration, uh,
Absolutely.
mass incarceration of black men, because they had invested a lot into these private run prisons. And I'm not gonna leave them out because they Democrats, y'all.
Yep,
They do.
absolutely. And you're absolutely correct about that. Now, I do think that, Biden has changed as he's gotten older, but you are absolutely right. In the 90s, him and Clinton were a very big part of that. They
Yes,
absolutely did that.
yes. And a lot of people don't even realize that. So that's I mean, in my heart, I really felt like in this last election for president, I was voting for the lesser evil, because I didn't know where Joe Biden stood. But I think he is coming back and trying to make amends by first trying to decriminalize marijuana,
Mhm.
and expunge those people's records. So
And I mean, again, I mean, I think that you're right about that. I think that oftentimes as we grow older, we grow wiser. Even whenever Biden was running for president, he did not say that he was for decriminalizing marijuana. He did not say that. Just
Right.
like when Obama was running for president, in his first term, for his first term, he did not agree with marriage equality, but then they did come around and their views did evolve. And so I
Right.
think that, yeah, unfortunately, the things that Biden and Clinton did are still having a lasting effect to this day.
It's
There are
it,
still men that are incarcerated because of the laws that they put in, and they are predominantly black and brown men who are still
mhm,
incarcerated because of the things that they did. And it has to be made right.
right. And I really feel like as far as our people, as far as the black and brown community, we really do need to
Close that door, please.
have a come to Jesus meeting about this and realize that the reason why you fighting over a block that don't even belong to you is because of stuff that started way back in the 70s. And they don't even realize that. Like, y'all fighting over blocks and then these gangs and and these got these drugs and guns because they want you to kill each other.
Yep.
That's
Right.
They
they
want you to kill each other and they want you to be locked up.
and it decimated the black family.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to read something to y'all that I've seen today on Tales from the Call page. She says, "Time to heal. Our women," here you go. "Time to heal our women. Be real to our women. And if we don't trust, then we have to we have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies." He wrote this song years ago, y'all. Y'all remember "Time to Hear Our Woman"? Y'all remember this song?
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you right now, we as women are being knocked down and we need to pay attention. And it's these men, these older men are knocking us down. Did you hear about the case of a 14-year-old who had got impregnated by a man, but Tennessee had already changed the law that it wasn't
Mhm.
considered RAPE anymore. But it wasn't. He took this young girl's body. And guess what? When the mother wanted an abortion, she wasn't allowed to get her daughter an abortion, and the man went down unconvicted.
Yep. And the
This
same
Mhm.
thing the same thing happened in Ohio with a 10-year-old girl. And this was before Indiana's anti-abortion law went into effect, and her mother had to take her to Indiana because Ohio had already enacted it. And this is the thing. Number one, a 10-year-old should not be forced to have a baby that was conceived by incest. Okay.
Right.
10-year-old cannot raise a baby. And you know what will happen is then whenever if they force that child to have that baby, they're going to need government assistance, even despite the fact that whatever their family is doing, they're going to need government assistance, and then they'll turn around and call that 10-year-old a welfare queen.
right.
That's what
Right.
they do.
And tell you that that child is too young to receive public assistance. You could only
Yeah.
receive public assistance at 18 years old. That's
Mhm.
it. You can receive Medicaid, but you cannot receive any food stamps or funding. What are they doing to us, ladies? This is the reason why we need to run to the polls because guess what? We got some dark stuff coming down. And for the judges that we put up there, Clarence Thomas should be recused and kicked out right now.
He
Because
Yep.
should
guess
be.
what? Look what we got. We got this other justice who a woman who was a professional accused him in college of doing something and
Yep.
they disregarded her. Now she is a doctor
Yep.
and
Mhm.
she said, "We are losing faith in our professionals, okay? We are losing faith in women who are coming to say, Donald Trump did this to me." I'm not saying anything that this is not an example of a president that we shouldn't have. This man had ran our government like he ran his businesses. Down the drain,
In the brain,
moved on to
in the
something.
ground.
We cannot allow for the Republicans or the Democrats to run us down, because sooner or later, y'all, it's going to affect your Social Security. It's going to
Yeah.
affect everything that has to do with us. And guess what? How would you feel if you got to be 65 years old and they told you you got to wait till you 80 years old to get money that you have put in and worked for all your life? We got to stop it now. And I'm not saying vote for Stacey Abrams because she's black. I'm saying she has made people realize what politics is about. And this
Mhm.
is what
She is so intelligent.
yes, you're
Absolutely.
crying because I'm gonna tell y'all something. This no lie. My grandmother here in Virginia, she lives in Norfolk, Virginia. My grandmother gets $13 in food stamps. This is not the first time I told you. Now she gets $17. And it takes each of my family members to say, this month I'll buy the groceries. Next month I'll buy the groceries. And she get $356 for Social Security because she was a housekeeper most of her life. So guess what, y'all? We stepping in to help. We got to help one another, whether we know each other or not. And that's why I tell you to respect everybody's opinion. If they feel that a Republican Donald Trump was good, let them do that. But the only way that you can stand and stand firm is that all the Republicans, y'all vote together. All the Democrats, y'all vote together. But one of them got to be stronger than the other. You know what I'm saying? We got to be stronger. And guess what? They got us now in a race war. Whether y'all believe it or not, they want
Mhm.
whites to hate blacks. They want
Yep.
blacks
Mhm.
to hate whites. But guess
Yep.
what? You look at your neighbor that in my neighborhood, we got a neighbor who makes cookies for everyone. Now, how would you feel that if she said, I'm only going to make it for the white neighbors? She makes it for every house in our neighborhood. It's 34 houses here. She makes it. We got to stop.
Yeah,
And
you
guess
know
what?
how I am about other
Guess what?
people's
It's
food.
happening on YouTube. They want you to hate each other. And then you pull that energy right off of your computer, your phone, your tablet, and go out. And this is how you're living. And you're wondering why that you're not being blessed because of the hate you have for someone that you don't even know. We have to pull together and get better as Americans. And I'm
Mar-
going to say,
Marcella, can I take it back to whenever you were first talking about the whole abortion issue?
yes,
Um, not only is it affecting young girls who's getting impregnated not by their choice, but grown women who are having, if their baby died in utero,
Yep.
they're having to carry these babies to term because and if they're in a state that criminalized and made it illegal for you to have an abortion, they can't even get the doctor to go ahead and deliver them so they can bury their babies.
right,
And that's a great point. And also that puts their health at risk. They could die from that.
Right.
And Republicans are always saying they're pro-life, they're pro-life. Obviously, like Marcella was talking about earlier, Herschel Walker isn't really pro-life. I mean, but then you also have it. The thing that sticks out to me, especially, there are women who are being denied abortions, but they already have children. They may, like you said, have a baby who died in utero. They may have had, they may just not be able to afford it. There may be health problems, the reason why they
Mhm.
can't carry that baby. So if that mother then dies because of that, then her children that she already has are left without a mother. That's
yeah,
not
And
pro-life.
likely go into the system.
Yes. And also, whenever you were talking about Social Security, Marcella, it's not just people who reach the age of 65. Anyone in here, or, I know that a lot of people in our sector of YouTube, I've seen a lot of people say that they're disabled. You will lose that money. Okay, if
Mhm,
Republicans get their way. What
mhm,
Republicans have said that they want to do is they only want to say, oh, well, we'll do it for 5 years and then we'll vote on it again. Well, let me tell you what will happen. As soon as Republicans are in power, they will take it away and you will be left without any money. And what's
Mm,
going to happen? What's going to happen to my parents who rely on their Social Security? Are my parents going to be homeless?
mhm.
right. And we're
It's
gonna
crazy because some of the poor states vote against their own interests,
Yes.
like Mississippi, West Virginia,
Alabama.
you know. So it's like it's crazy how some of the poorest, states that depend on this kind of thing. They even had a whole sting in West Virginia because it was so many lawyers up there falsely applying for disability for people that they had to
Yeah.
go up and do a huge thing.
It
So it's
happened in
like
Kentucky
y'all
too.
depend on that money. So
Yep.
why vote against your interests?
Yep, it happened in Kentucky too, and, it was like a lawyer who was getting kickbacks and stuff, and they
Mhm.
found out
Mhm.
that he had lied on all this documentation. Yeah, he went to prison.
Mhm.
And look at Brett Favre. He
Right.
has no remorse what he's done. He's received money from the welfare system, the
Yep.
money that was set up to help the poor. A very wealthy rich man got it. But look, y'all, I wanna share something with y'all right quick.
If you don't this is sad. Sean wrote it. Understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, and he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, the main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country. He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now,
Yep.
I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you almost exactly what he says. He says there are three things we can do to solve this. Number one, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all. And right now, white people are really frightened. If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book, The Birth Dearth.
It's it's
And right now,
it's so true because in my area, and Marcella knows the area that I stay in North Carolina, people around here was scared.
Yep.
Like, it was like this big come to Jesus moment, or everybody, in my area was like so pro Barack Obama his first term. But
Yep.
then they started singing, "Oh, wait a minute. Black people are really proud of this. Black people are making changes in their community. They're voting." You know what I'm saying? And they got scared that,
Yep.
wait a minute, if black people become, or black and brown people become the majority, like what's gonna happen to us? And now
Yep.
they clinging to it just as hard, or they're clinging to their guns. They like, no. So it's like it's been a rise in KKK, Aryan white nationalists here in this area. Like, it's really crazy that electing one man brought about the election of that next man.
Yeah.
And
It
and
is so crazy.
yeah, and the thing is that's exactly what's happening. These white people are afraid that they're going to become a minority because they know what they've done to black and brown people. So they're like, if
Mhm.
black and brown people become the majority, are they going to do the same thing to us that we did to them? They're
Mhm.
fearful. Also, the woman who Marcella just showed the video of, her name is Jane Elliott. If you all have not
Mhm.
watched her videos, they are on YouTube. You need to go. She does race experiments. She's done so much. She is such an intelligent woman. Go watch her videos. She's she's highly intelligent, and she tells it like it is. So her name's Jane
Mhm.
Elliott.
Go
Yep.
back and watch whenever she was on Oprah,
Yep.
like the blue eye brown eyed experiment, y'all.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, it. Woo.
And I'm gonna tell you what she did one time. She had a whole classroom of children,
Yep.
and she was being very disrespectful to the white students.
Yep.
Then she started treating the white students really nice. And guess what? She said, "Raise your hand if y'all would exchange and be black. What white kids would want to be black for a day?" Ironically, children that age did not raise their hands because black and brown has always been looked at as a negative color.
Yep.
Negative.
Mhm.
It,
Mhm.
I mean, if you ain't white, you ain't right. But guess what? With me, I went to a Jewish college, and what you got to do is learn. That's why I tell you to always pay attention to your surroundings. Instead of hating white people, you should get together and learn and let them learn you. And guess what? Those are the people that will welcome every color because, see, they can sit at the dinner table and grandpa from 1902 can say, Black people are horrible. But then the 2020 kids will say, no, they're not. That was an old way of thinking. We have to change people's minds in the way we
Mhm.
treat each other. And we don't
Mhm.
have that here. We don't have that anymore. Hey, Parker Perspective. Hey, the doll. The doll say, yes, I love Jane Elliott. Please, y'all, go look her up on YouTube.
Mhm.
This woman is educating not just white America, but black America to make you understand why they want to lock up the black man all the time. They're scared of your body build. They're scared of uneducated black people that you will resort to violence before you will rationalize. And guess what? They're counting on us to continue to fight against one another. So that guess what? We're so mad we won't go to the polls. We won't speak up for ourselves. We will just say they'll do any kind of way that they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. That's what my daughter told me. My daughter goes and vote, my oldest daughter. But she said, Mom, they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. I go to voting because you want us to do this as a family. And I go across the street with my children, grown, and make sure that we vote together. I said, well, if you don't know who to vote for, you want to vote for who you see, and I educate them all the way till we get to that poll. If she goes in there and vote Republican, I won't know. You know why? Because we don't talk about it, but we did our part. Child, I had a video of Dr. Khaled Abdul Muhammad on Donahue back in the 90s, and he broke, y'all, dig up this name, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Do your research for yourself. Don't let me and Jennifer and NIECY tell y'all what's going on. But guess what? We have to educate our kids. And how come kids in private school get a better education than people in public school?
Our public school system here in this city, oh my God, it is so bad. It is so bad here in this city.
And
Like,
that's another thing too. Republicans have been working hard since really the late 60s, early 70s, but they really picked it up in the 80s to defund education. Because the more people that they keep dumb, then that means
Speak, Jennifer.
if they keep people dumb, either they won't vote, or they will, or the poor white people that live in these rural areas who have never been around a person of color,
Can be
who have
easily
never who have never been around an LGBTQ person that they know of, that they will have this fear of the other. And that is what Republicans want. This whole thing about CRT isn't even taught in school. It
mhm,
is a college course, okay? But
mhm.
it has all of these white parents up in arms for something that their children are not even being taught.
right.
Jennifer, Jennifer,
In
let me
Virginia,
tell
they
you,
voted to take all the Black history books out of class. Frederick Douglass, Rosa
here,
Parks. They
Mar-
voted to take all the books out, and guess what? There wasn't enough Black mamas to stand up
right.
and say why. They just said, "Oh God, this is what they're doing." We voted our governor in, who said that he was going to keep this, but guess what? His second day after his inauguration, he said, "Remove the books."
Yep.
He conned his way all the way into the office. The Black people went and voted for him instead of our other governor, Northam, that was going to run. Drop the link, please. I sure will. Hold on. But y'all,
Listen, Marcella,
mm,
with the whole critical race theory, it was a principal that was hired down in a high school down the street from my house, which is, like I said, one of these city schools that they just ship teachers to because they knew or because it's got a disciplinary problem. This man came in and was like old dude from Lean on Me, and was cleaning this school up, and he was having all the teachers, not just the white teachers, go through this critical race theory seminar. And do you know the white teachers banded together to get this man out of his job just because he was making them do the critical race theory?
Yep.
They fired this man that was making a difference in multiple kids' life down there at the high school
mhm.
because they didn't want to do the critical race theory seminar.
Yeah. And you can see a difference. I want y'all to just go back in your minds and realize that when these mass shootings happening, they're happening everywhere except the white race. It's happening to Black grocery stores. It's happening to Taiwanese churches. It's happening to other people other than white. COVID-19 was sent here to make our population smaller. We got to think outside the box and not
No.
say everything is a
Now, mass
conspiracy
shootings are
theory.
happening to white people also, because you got to
Yeah,
remember the schools.
Yeah,
Uh,
but if we look at who's committing these mass shootings, it's
right,
mostly white people.
right.
right. Y'all like to welcome the doll on us. This is the doll. This is Jennifer Love Spewitt, our special guest, and I hope this ain't your last time, Jennifer, because I'm gonna hunt you down. We got Nick and
The
my
doll know me. We know each
uh,
other.
Oh, okay. So sad. Wow, I agree with you, Marcella. But you know what, y'all? We got to stay healthy. Every time they try to give us these drugs and stuff, they just want to help us with our headache. It might be killing our liver. We're going to have the dog come up here and tell you other things that our families used to do. They couldn't run to no doctors. What they did was natural things. And guess what, y'all? The dog talked to me the other day. I told y'all all about my husband's cancer and that his urine had got dark brown. Well, the dog told me some things to do, and a couple of other people up here told me some things to try with my husband. Y'all, lo and behold, my husband got up today and his urine was normal. And and that was not through what a doctor gave him to urine to make his urine
Mhm,
normal. It was natural things that we grow on this earth, and
mhm,
vitamins and tea and stuff like that. We got to stop letting these people dictate our health. I'm 57 years old. I'm gonna tell you what keeps me healthy: dancing, being happy, and stress will kill you. It's a silent killer. So I can't worry about who like us and who don't. But let's let the dolls speak. The dolls say it, honey.
Yeah, I just came up here because politics is my thing. It always have been. And I think that this is one of the reasons why I came to YouTube is because of not only speaking about situations that I've been through as a caretaker, as as a student, as someone who's on the spiritual journey. Um, and I have been through other experiences in my life, and I know everybody else has been through experiences in their life as well, because we're all placed here for a reason and a season. And I feel as the conversation about politics, like I said, is a factor for me as a as a Black woman, as an African American, as an indigenous woman, raising two young Black men in this society. I feel like we as people should learn and also should know, how to make this environment better for everyone. And so as as me listen to the conversation in politics, I would say this. Me personally, as Black people, we most time we vote Democrat. And this is the thing where when I took my bachelor, because I'm going to school now for my master's degree. Okay. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are like, oh, I know you from this and this situation, whatever. But a lot of people don't know my experience or my education, or that I was in the military, or that I have two bachelors. Actually, I have three bachelors. I have associates in behavioral science. I have my first bachelor's from Mississippi State University, criminal law, criminal justice, and psychology. My second bachelor's is from Bethel University. I completed that online, and it's in leadership, business management. And so now I'm going to school for social justice for my master's. Okay, so let me speak on this. A lot of people don't know that Black people, the one that started the Republican Party, okay? The Republican Party was started by a group of Black individuals that helped Black people, and it was the point that a lot of it was started, I think, in Texas, but a lot of white people, like white supremacy, was offended that Black people was able to start this political party, help Black people. And that's when the Democratic Party, the one that started the KKK,
Yep.
they're the one that started to turn people into being Democrats. So when we hear like, what's the man name, Biden say, well, if you don't vote Democratic, you're not Black. And the thing of it is, Biden was the same one that said that he didn't want his children to go to school with Black children. Biden was the same one that helped Bill Clinton with the 91B, the criminal law.
Yeah,
Biden
the crime bill.
Yeah, the crime bill. Also, the Democrat Party was the same party that after slavery happened, okay, that's when they started making the chain gang and also making prison system, because they felt like if we can't keep Black people on the plantation, we got to start building prison systems. That's why the prison system and the school system and indoctrination is so hooked up with the pipeline system that when students go to school, they already have that mentality of getting them ready for the prison system.
Yes.
Why do you think that they building so many prisons and outside of the school system? Why do you think that the books, what's the books, the Jewish people who I think it's like Marks and Hills, that they signed a law saying there's so much they can put in those books for education, and there's so much they can teach, even with the Bible, which is, we know that none of that stuff happened, but because even with Adam and Eve, we know that Adam, Adam, first of all, Adam was only thing, everything in that book happened in literature, in biblical literature, because it didn't happen anywhere else. You can't go anywhere else outside of biblical history to say that these events occurred. But okay, just say this. Even in biblical history and biblical literature, what I'm going to say, you find that Adam, Adam, Well, first of all, he didn't never exist. But let's say he did. First of all, Adam was supposed to have been married before to a woman named Lilith, right? They crossed her out because of the male chauvinist. Because Lilith saying, "Oh no, Adam, you cannot tell me what to do. Me and you was created at the same time." So they had to get rid of Lilith, okay, and bring it and bring Eve. Okay, but anyway, let's go to this. Adam, Adam. It comes from the word atom, atom, which comes from atom, nucleus, mitochondria, cells, all those things that they, brought into play. Okay, and the Eve gene, okay, which is, let's be honest, and I'm not racist because like I said, I love Jennifer, but we got to call a thing a thing. No one have the Eve gene but Black indigenous people, because everyone know that everything was created, everything, the first people that was on land was Black people. Let's be
Mhm.
clear about this.
Right. And Jesus was not white. Okay. So the white Jesus they put out there, Jesus was not white.
And and it's the thing of what we dealing with now is the division, and we see so much division being caused, and the thing that who causing this is our government.
Yep.
At one point in time, it was a black and white thing. Now it's a money thing. It's who have money and who doesn't.
Right.
All the statistics about all people are racist and these and that, and these people, the elites, don't give a blank about me or you and Jennifer or anybody else, because we don't have what they have. At one point it was about, and back in the 60s, it was about yeah, we going to divide and conquer. Now it's still divide and conquer, but it's the divide and conquer based on access. And
Yeah,
those things, that's why our school system and public schools don't teach about things that really need to be taught. If you're
right.
going to like different schools, kids who have money, they teaching about credit, they teaching about financial stability, they teaching about
Mhm.
philosophy, they teaching about all these things. And that's why a lot of times when our kids get ready to go to different places, even me, because I'm a country gal, okay, and I started going to school, and I was like, I didn't learn that in school. I didn't learn anything about a lot. So I started going outside of the norm, and I joined the military. Okay, and then I learned different things because it's so much that they can teach you, because the school system is based on keeping people ignorant. And
Mhm.
Yep.
that's what the Bible says, the people will lack. The people will perish because of lack of knowledge, and they want to make it look like, oh, you did too much. And when I was in Mississippi, I used to hear people when I was a little girl, oh, too much knowledge ain't good for you. That is so ignorant as
Mhm.
people to say ignorant things that like that. They like to keep people dumb, dumbed down,
Mhm.
dumbfounded, and,
Yep.
and, and make them believe
Yeah.
that knowledge is bad. That's why they keep putting in the Bible, oh, knowledge is bad. They ate off the tree of knowledge, and they died, and all this stuff. They keep people from learning anything to learning about how to develop, learning how to create
Let's
They
things,
won't even
learning
teach
how
our
let's
to
be
do.
kids how
real
to
about the
write their
Bible, though.
signatures. They won't even let our kids learn that a signature is in cursive. They
Exactly.
they don't
Yeah.
teach that in school anymore, y'all. And guess
Exactly.
what? Do you
Let,
know
But you
what?
let's
know
be
why
real
though,
about the
right?
Bible, though. The Bible has been changed so many times.
Mhm.
You know what I
Lady.
mean? And it was skewed. The King James version was skewed so that they could bring it over to America and use religion as a punishment. With uh, slave, and the slaves had something to look forward to. Like, we may be going through all this here on earth, but when we get to heaven type
Right.
thing, so I think it was used as a means of almost like corporal punishment, like, you know, I'm gonna tame you with this religion right here type thing.
Okay, check this out. And I'm going to say this. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the Bible was used as a way. Okay, okay, this is the thing. When you want to conquer someone's land, right? The first thing they do, they send missionaries over there. Okay. And it's the thing, those people was already spiritual people. They didn't need the Bible. Okay, but like I said, it was used as a way of white supremacy. Because
Yeah.
when you look at, think about it, because when you look at drawings and any kind of paintings or any kind of art or any kind of, if you go to any kind of store, any kind of museum, you're going to see white people and as this as the savior. Okay, let's get this clear. And then they say that, oh, you got a red man that walk around with a pitchfork in the hand that plays the role of the devil. Okay, so when black people see that, right, they think that everyone white is in superior. And not only that, the Bible, and it passages in the Bible that says black people ain't no good, that no damn good. They ain't no earthly good. They ain't anything. So when you have those type of things that browbeat um, people and make everything look bad when it comes down to African American race, that's what black people are gonna look as themselves as not doing anything good. They haven't done anything good. They ain't no good. They'll never be no good. Ain't nothing good in them. Okay. So when you put that on people for so long, this stigma, what do you think would happen? But like I said, those people, and that's the thing, when those people went to the different races, went to Egypt, and they seen how the Egypt had Egyptologists had the pyramids over there. Okay, ain't no other culture, ain't no other race can duplicate those pyramids that been built 100,000 years ago. Okay, let's get that together. Okay, and then when they went over there, they wonder how the Egyptians knew about they were saying the Egyptians was worshiping the sun. Nope, they didn't worship the sun. They worshiped that the sun was so good to them because the sun provided them with vitamin D. The sun also showed them when to farm, when the crops, about they because the sun is so nutritious to black people bones. They understood that was God's son, which the Roman Catholic Church came with the Romans with Caesar, Julius Caesar turned the SUN to the SON, and that's how that became. Okay, and so they seen that the Egyptians knew mathematics. They knew the herbs. They taught them how to use base, how to read, how to do mathematician, how to do all of those things. You understand? So they wasn't slacking on anything at all. No, they wasn't. They was very influential people. So when slavery came, the first people that they brought over here, okay, was the teachers, was the ministers. They brought those people over here first to browbeat them into changing their belief, into changing their religion, into changing everything. So when everybody else came, they was being taught those beliefs. So that's why on Sunday they had the slave master would sit there and watch the minister or whatever tell those lies and make those slaves shout and do all these things for their own benefit.
You know what, the dog? We gonna have a show on this all because you know what she's saying is that like they will make Georgia. They gave Herschel Walker a position. What they do is put somebody in an image like us to vote for them. That we don't care about what's coming out of his mouth. That we're gonna vote. And what I'm going to say to all of this that you need to do your research. Don't
Yeah,
let
you're
yeah,
exactly right.
of
Thank
us
you.
up here influence you because I'm not going to I'm gonna tell you something. If Liz Cheney was to run for president right now, I would vote for her.
I
Because
would.
You
hmm,
you exactly right. And I agree with that, Miss Marcella. They always put
we
someone
gotta
in
vote for right
in there.
now who is trying to save democracy. And see,
Mhm.
that is a candidate. I mean, for real, Liz Cheney is opening up a new thing. When she turned, y'all see how they got rid of the naysayer that was speaking the truth. What Donald Trump has done is broke several laws, but I believe Biden is going to run again. I believe he's waiting to see what they're going to do with Donald Trump. Because you know what? If Donald Trump goes to prison or gets in any type of trouble, be vigilant, because
Mhm.
there's going to be people coming after you, not because the color of your skin, is because you did not agree with their God, because that's what they're putting him on a level as, God. So I'm telling y'all, it's almost. I was gonna be here to 1:30, but we are here, and the doll, you have educated us. You need to come back, Jennifer Love. Do it. I thank you. I
Can
thank
I
you.
say this right quick, Auntie? And I'm gonna be my butt quiet. But
But
one thing too that I would say this, as Black people, we need to start watching our children, because the thing of it is, you see so many kids, Black children going missing. It's not because of they want the Black children; it's because of the melanin. They sell melanin. Black organs are the most. It costs more than silver and gold and platinum and anything else that's on this earth. So
say it
hey,
again. Melanin is
look
Mhm.
up Henrietta Leaks, the black woman that they killed to get they when they to use her
Yeah,
blood and use
Harriet
her
Black.
organ, yeah, for to cure cancer. And they found out that black people's blood is still multiply, still procreate after, even after death. It's still
Yeah,
living.
she has an immortal cell line, and what was so messed up is that her family was dirt poor, and while her cells were making all these scientific breakthroughs, they did not ask for permission. They did not give any of that money to the family. And
That's right.
again, that's why it's so hard for me, like on our platform now included, to get people to participate in clinical research, so the drugs would be more skewed to us, because we have been used as experiments ever since we've been over here. And it's one of those things. I'm trying to get people to participate in some clinical trials, but I understand people fear because they don't trust.
I agree. I have to run, but
but I love you, Jennifer. Please come
thank
back
you. Thank
with
you,
the
everybody.
doll.
Next time we do this, Marcella, I think that if Dadal will come back too, because I think that what she's making and just the natural remedies that she's talked about with you, that can lead us into very important conversations as to what she
Mhm.
was talking about, how the wealthy and access controls everything, how big pharma has inserted itself into government, how the
Mhm.
Citizens United decision is what made dark money be easy to get into politics. So maybe that'll be our next topic,
And
but we can
yeah,
all talk
and I
about
love
that.
it because you're knowledgeable, and a lot of people didn't know that you were Caucasian, but you see, it's not about the color, it's about right and
Mhm.
wrong. And so
Mhm.
I am so glad that you're up here sharing your knowledge with us. And if you off next Friday, please hit me up during the week. I want you to
Thank
come
you,
back.
Yeah,
Jennifer.
I'm always off on Fridays. I work Monday
Oh,
through
'Cause I
Thursday.
missed the
So
whole
Thank you, Jen.
gerrymandering. I missed the whole gerrymandering talk, and that's something that I wanted to
well, you
discuss.
better watch the replay and hit like. Aha.
Thank you, Jen. I love you.
all
Bye,
right, love y'all too. I'll talk to you
Okay.
later. Bye.
Jennifer.
Okay.
Y'all, that was amazing. That is amazing. And the dog, I know I ain't even gotta raise you up. Cause I'ma tell you, when my husband was going through this stuff, the dog was in my ear, in my text, I'm doing buying everything she told me. And guess what?
Her
You know
name is Henrietta Lacks,
who?
the person we were just talking about.
Oh, okay. We're gonna put that in oh yeah, it's in the what is her name? Henrietta Lacks. Is it spelled
Mhm.
Leks?
It's uh-huh.
So
LAKS, I
Amara said
think.
she didn't know Jennifer was white. He is white and very knowledgeable. And, because of his color, we've had content creators that throw mud on him because he is white. And that's what I'm saying. They want everybody to hate him because he's white. But you know what? He is about what right and wrong. And that's why I too felt that way about Jennifer. But one day, y'all, he was on this page and I had to apologize to him, just like I had threw him under the bus in public. I apologized to Jennifer in public because see, when I had been watching him all over the place on the YouTube street, and he was speaking kicking knowledge, and I was like, this guy is nothing like a content creator told me he was. See, that's what you got to find people, learn them for yourself. And when you learn people like the dog, people might have told me that she was not a good person, but guess what? I learned her for myself, and she's knowledgeable. And we can't let a wealth of knowledge be gone because somebody else don't like them. And that's what I was trying to tell y'all at the beginning of this
That
program.
the divide and
Like content creators because another content creator we look at don't like it. That's what slavery is. The slavery is trying to hold the subscribers and not let you learn that the other person that they don't like is really a good person. And that's why I say we cannot let our past out, because the doll used to, she ain't let take no mess from nobody. But guess what? We cannot let the past or what they say about me or her or Jennifer or NIECY in the past affect what we're trying to do right now. See, over here right now, if I said YouTube drama, I'm about to talk about the doll. I would have so many people over here looking at me right now. I would have so many people waiting for us to tear each other down. Well, we need to tear down them poles and we need to do our research and we need to educate our children. We need to go in and reset our children because we got children getting mad about somebody else's sneakers. We got to come together, just like self-preservation. She has a different belief than I had. I, when I came on, I had my own belief, but see, she was kind enough to come over here and give me self-doubt that it was second by the doll. So now you got to go back in and research everything the doll said. I get to watch this over and listen over and over again what the doll said and what self-preservation was implying to do my research. But like I said, if Liz Cheney ran for president, I, as a Black woman who's always voted Democrat, would vote for Liz Cheney because she stood up for America. She stood up for the women. And we need to stand up for one another and stop letting somebody that we don't know tear us down. We need to protect our daughters. And
yes, no, a whole lot of people don't even realize that Martin Luther King was a Republican.
yep.
That thing didn't switch brown sugar until the civil rights unit movement. After that, because they were called Dixiecrats down here. Everybody that was voting for the Democratic Party down in the South was racist, honey. And that stuff switched around then, where the Republican Party started and Democratic Party started to switch.
But get you to do
the very first president of the United States, y'all, he wasn't given that title, but he was a Black man.
John Henson.
So, right after slavery, during the Reconstruction period, Black people were some of the most wealthy, most influential people on earth over here in America. That's why all the rape massacres and all of that happened. So we really need to have a good history lesson over here.
The doll, when you coming back?
Honey, I don't know, child.
Well, I'm gonna have to get you over here, child, because you know what? You have educated me today. First of all, I didn't know that Black people started off being Republican. I learned that today, and I'm the content creator. I learned that today.
Martin Luther King was a Republican, y'all.
I learned that today. that Martin Luther King was a Republican. I didn't know that. So, and that's what I'm saying. They're not teaching this in school, and now they're really totally trying to wipe out Black history in schools.
The divide and conquer used to be, that they realized that they couldn't keep the intelligent Black people down. So that was divide and conquer. They would take and allow the intelligent Black people in that community because they didn't want the intelligent Black people in their community teaching people
Yeah.
what it is. So that's when they started assimilating and saying, "Oh, okay, we gotta let these intelligent Black people over here, or we're gonna have all they people knowing what they know."
Guess what?
So
And I live in a
now the
predominantly
divide and
white
conquer is
area.
by race.
I live in a predominantly white area. Niecy live in a predominantly like white area, and Mara lives in a white area. And what I just learned is what they don't want me with my people. They want me to stay over here.
Hmm.
Yeah, we need to learn our history. We got to know where we come from to know where we're going. And the doll, I'm gonna get you over here because you're gonna have to come back. I love you, y'all. I
Thank
got
Because
you.
to
I'm
get up out
telling
of
you, with our people, 80% of what you learned in school in history is not true.
here. Mhm.
Exactly, Miss Nisa, you was speaking it.
Oh, Niecy know now. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, Niecy educate me on a lot of stuff. And I'm the content creator. But I got a smart manager and I love her so much. But y'all, I gotta get out of here. But I love you, Dudal, when you coming back. I'm gonna keep asking you, Dudal.
I don't know, sweetie. I don't know.
All
But
right.
I will say this, I just want y'all people to study and if y'all need any help with anything, my IG, y'all can find me on IG. I'm still debating. I'm still trying to put some things together because I'm still trying to get my channel together. But I'm doing right now, I'm just doing like weeks what I want to talk about. But because I'm going to break that Bible down from the front to the back, the lies from the front to the back, and I'm going to be doing like different herbs from the front to back. So
All right.
I'm gonna send Aunt Marcella, I'm sending my channel, my YouTube name before I start. I want to have so many people over there, have some
Oh yeah, I
subscribers.
will advertise. I advertise all
Um,
content creators.
and
I
like
will,
I
yeah.
said, if you need help with branding, learning how to get started on YouTube and paperwork and stuff like that, just let me know.
All
And
right, thank you so much.
the dog, whoever, whatever you choose, and you choose the your intro, outro, I will pay for it.
Thank you so much. Cause
Whoever
yeah,
you want to do it, I will pay for it so you can
Oh,
get
I already know
it,
who's gonna do
so we can start teaching. So we can start
you,
teaching people. Y'all,
you
I'm not a selfish content creator. I'm going to share every content creator that I admire. And guess what? I'm sure that the people that's here today was listening to the doll and was enlightened and enjoying hearing that
it.
we
Hmm.
got to just remind ourselves we are kings and queens forever.
I'm raising
And
my
I
people
also
up.
want to say, just like with the doll was talking about, the Bible and stuff like that. What I want people to know is that just because you have a difference in opinion on a matter like religion, politics, stuff like that, you don't have to get angry at the person. You can
Exactly.
simply listen to the person, take away what you want to take away from it, and leave the rest of it in the trash. That's what I tell people all the time.
Thank you, Miss Lisa.
Don't get upset with somebody just because their opinion is different from yours. You just state your opinion and throw everything in the trash you don't want to listen to. It's
Right.
Thank
simple
you so
as
much,
that.
Miss Lisa.
I
Miss
love
Lisa,
you,
I
the
thank
dog.
you.
Don't forget now, if you want, me and Nisa can do your intro, outro. You tell us what you need on it, and we'll start, and we'll just turn it over to you. You change the passwords and everything, and
Child,
you can.
mine gonna be a little thuggish kind of because I'm
Ah,
coming with this real heat,
all
baby.
right.
And I don't
So
know if people gonna like it or not, but hey, I'm coming with this real heat. And like
you
Miss
tell
Lisa
Nisi
said,
what you want, and I'll do. I tell Nisi what you want. She's the creative one, and then I will take care of it financially. I love you so much. Thank you so much for everything you do for me and my family.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I
All right.
love you, ladies. Okay,
I
bye
love
bye.
you too. Y'all, I'm sorry. We're going to have to hang out at another time. But listen, we had a good old party up in this camp today. You hear me? We didn't have many people, but guess what? The people we had was all we needed. I love y'all.
Which outro I need to use, child?
Oh, the one that not the first one I ever had, the second one.
Okay.
I love you,
All
niece.
right. Love
Not
you.
all right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.